Hi, Nico from Voiceflow here. In this video, we will talk about the analytic proxy, so a code we've shared on our repository. On this repo, we are sharing a bunch of different examples, sample of code and integration. You should definitely have a look. But today, we are focusing on this analytic proxy. What is the analytic proxy and what this will allow us to do? Basically, this is something we will put between the chat widget and your agent. Because the agent uses the dialog manager API, so the Voiceflow API to interact with your agent, the chat widget uses the exact same API. So what we want to do is to put something between the chat widget and the dialog manager API. So this proxy will not only get the request, but also get the response from the dialog manager API. And with that in mind, you can start understanding that we are basically in a middle, so we can choose what we want to log. And at the same time, we can also choose to send some data to our business analytic tool or our own database, for example. So in this project, we have a simple flow where we ask the user for their name, and then the user will be able to ask a question. We will use the AI set response step with the memory to answer that question. And then we have two buttons, info and support. I'm just using the button to showcase the log and the debug mostly, because I'm making a request to this URL. One will pass and this one will fail because we are forcing a 400 code, and we will be able to log that. So how it works? Well, we will first need to, this is a brand new project, so we don't have yet any transcript. You can see that here. So the first thing we will test is by using a transcript. So we need to enable that and copy this. So I'm only copy the script itself because we are going to use this right there. So on Google, I'm using the dev console, and in the console, I will pass this code. The only thing I will change here is the version ID. So instead of production, I will use development, because I haven't published my agent. I'm just using the play button to generate a new version. So here we go. Let's run this and interact with the agent. Hi, I'm Nico. How tall is the Eiffel Tower? So we are hitting the AI response step. Please choose an option, info, and we should get those ask for info. But by doing this, we will also trigger two API step. So let's go back to our transcript right there. We do have this. So that's the conversation we've just had with our agent. Let's show the debug. And what is interesting here is we have some information. Here we hit the no match because we are using the capture step. If you use NLU and intent, you might have a confidence score here, or the as well as the name of the intent that have been targeted by this utterance or matching the utterance. We also have some information regarding the AI set step or the AI response that we're using. The first one was to extract the username. That's why we use a set. And the second one is an AI response. And again, we do have access to some information. And what we want to focus on is the token consumption. And the last part is this. As you can see, we have actually not one, but two, most likely, yeah. Mainly the URL I'm using is down, so that's not really important. At least we will be able to flag that. So knowing this, what will be handy is to also have access to this in real time by using our analytic proxy. And this is exactly what we're going to do. So let's switch now to VS Code, where I'm going to run this proxy. Obviously, you want to start with the README. You have all the information to get or clone the repository and set up everything so you can run that locally. If you want to use this in production, host this on an instance that will be able to run that instead of your computer. But in that demo, I will start the server. I've already do all this path. So I've cloned the repository, I've renamed my .env, I've installed all the dependencies. So I'm right there. I'm doing an npm start. So let's do this. This will run the server or the proxy on the port we choose, so 3000. But because I'm running this locally, I want to have a URL my chat widget will be able to use. So I need to use or choose to use ngrok here. So let's switch in a new terminal and let's run ngrok. So now I will be able to get this URL. And with this URL, as you can see, we need to update the chat widget. So let's switch back to our chat widget. Let's restart. And here, instead of the default general runtime URL, I'm going to use my ngrok URL. Doing so, we will see that if I switch back to my server, as soon as I will start interacting with my agent, we will be populating this part. So actually, let's try something. Let's do this and this. So we can see all this. So let's get rid of this. And let's start a new conversation. Hey, can you give me your name? As you can see, we start getting some data here. So we get the header with all the information regarding the user using the agent via the chat widget. So device, all those information, the referrer as well, the session, and the version we are using. But also the action that have been just pushed. So this is a launch because we've just launched this. We don't have any action value yet, no confidence model, we don't use anything. What we've got is the text response from our agent. Hi, can you give me your name? And this is obviously not the end of the convo. So, hi again, I'm Nico. Again, you can see that we are actually getting the request, but also the response. So the action this time was a type. We were sending hi again, I'm Nico, with a confidence set to 100, because again, we are using capture step for that, with basically just capturing the entire user reply. But we've also used GPT 3.5 Turbo to extract the name. And we can see that we've the token consumption for this was 26. 25 for the query, 2 for the answer. No API call, and the text response was, how can I help you, Nico? So not only we can see that we successfully extract the name, but also the cost for this and the response. So let's keep going. Hotel is the Eiffel Tower. Again, in real time, we see that we are interacting with the agent. This time, again, this was a text action. How tall is the Eiffel Tower? So we have the user returns, the consumption, and the response. In that case, the LLM response. Plus, as you can see, this is an array. So we have the LLM response, but also the please choose an option prompt. Let's go and click on info. And if I scroll down here, we can see that the action type was a pass. So we've clicked on the button. So we were using the pass for that button. The value, so the label of that button, which is, again, pretty handy whenever you want to log a specific part of your flow. For example, let's say the supports, or whenever you create a ticket, based on the label on the button, that's something you can do, or based on an API call as well. In that case, we can also see that we do have 2 API calls, but for those 2, both have failed. We can see this right there. And the text response was ask for info. And this time, this is the end of the combo. So you start thinking that basically we have a full transcript here, but also with some detailed information not only coming from the user itself or the device, the origin, but also from the actual conversation, and not only the request, but also the response. So knowing this, now in this code that we are sharing, what you can do instead of just logging this, obviously you can use your own integration with your API, your business analytics tool, and send this or the information you want. You can go deeper and filter only what you need. Maybe you don't need all of this. You just need one specific information, but you can do that as well. So hopefully that was helpful. This was the analytic proxy. Give it a try and let us know if this is something you want to use for monitoring, for transcript, for analytics, or for all of this. In the meantime, have a good one and chat soon. Bye.